Hey and welcome. This is number 7, guys. I'm going for it. Have you ever wanted something so bad you can taste it? That's how I feel about this getting certified. I don't mind the fact that my teacher is quite strict about who he will certify and who he won't, because he put a lot of time and effort into learning and into teaching. And he just wants to do what he feels is right, so I get it. This is essay number 7 for me, like I said, and today I am I'm going to talk about God. My experience with God goes, all the way back. I can remember, I'm 68 now, and I can remember being in the womb. I can remember God in the womb, and there'd be this cute, funny little light, and I didn't know what it was, but it would play with me, and I would feel it, and it would make me tickle in my heart. I would feel a tickle, and I would laugh, and that was my first experience as the Ricky person you see before you. That was my first experience with God as I knew God. Then, growing up as a kid, I had this wonderful, wonderful feeling about God when I was a little kid, a little toddler person, and God was in everything. And God was the rain, and God was the thunder boomers, and God was the sparkles on the water, and everything was magical. And then, life happens. That's why we're here. At least that's why I signed up, was to experience. And I chose to put a lot of experiencing into a pretty relatively short amount of time. Probably one of the reasons for that is because God knew, and by design, I would be a teacher of the course. So it's kind of good to know what the heck you're talking about before you go and teach it. And that's also why I chose my teacher, because he has had a death experience as a result of doing the course. And that's the kind of person I want teaching me. It's pretty simple. Oh, anyway, so somewhere along the line, my Catholic parents decided that I should be attending also. I guess that's what you did back then. So I went, and I learned about a God that was strict, and a God that was punishing. Over the years, I also have been in recovery for quite a long time, and at one of my meetings, a friend had mentioned the great fly swatter in the sky, and that's how I came to see God. It's like, boom, if you said the wrong thing, if you did the wrong thing, if you went to the wrong places, there was a way to be and not a way to be. And as I've talked about, in my previous videos. So I didn't care too much for God because I didn't feel like God cared too much for me. So that brought me into a place of really dark times. I've always had JC, my buddy behind me. He's always been in my heart like a brother, but I didn't have that idea of God. Then, in the process of trying to find God, I got myself in a place where I really needed some recovery. I really needed some help. They say that, and I've heard that hell is here on earth, and I definitely took a good time playing in hell for quite a long time. When God decided it was time for me to start coming out of the pool, I was able to learn of God, and the places that I went to learn about that talked about God as I understand God, and that's where my search really started getting interesting. I looked for God in the Lord's Prayer. I looked for God in people. I looked for God in some substances, I looked for God everywhere. And I found God. I found God in me and outside of me too. I found God in smiles. I found God in love. I found God in believing that, in reaching and knowing that something was reaching back. Intense and beautiful. And as I've continued going forward in my learning, and in my learning in the course over the 30 some years I've been doing this too, God has become, it's like that thing. It's like that thing, the nearer you get, the better I can see you. And that's kind of how it's been with God. And almost to the end of this time of going through the 365 lessons, and I'm getting there. Let's see. God now is more back to what I connected to when I was a kid. God is the breath that I breathe. God is me. God is merciful wind at just the right time. God is a soft kiss on my cheek when I don't know where it's coming from, and God is the ability to walk that one extra mile when you friggin' have to and you don't want to and you don't think I don't think I can do it, and God is right here and right now, because I really didn't want to do essay 7-10 minutes. That's not, like I've said before, YouTube is not my bag, but teaching is, and I will go to whatever lengths I need to. So God is in the strength. God is in the love. God is. I am God. There's so much. And slowly, the course and in the lessons, one by one, page by page, I'm getting it into my brain. It's going in there. My mind is slowly learning to not come up with the script and not come up with the answers anymore, and just be able to find that quiet, still place. The place where God lives. God doesn't live in my yesterdays. God doesn't live in my tomorrows. God lives right here, right now, in me. And in you and in us, because we are one. The oneness of God. That is what it's all about for me. So as I can become still, as I can just be, I can even start to see God in the sparkles. And the beginning of the course, the lessons, talks about how everything we've created is not real. It is, I've created everything I see, and everything I see isn't real. There you go. And I'm starting to see that the edges aren't real on things. I'm starting to get to that place where I just know. I started out looking for God, and now I'm finding God. And the love and the joy of sharing God, sharing what I've learned, sharing that undefinable, beautiful thing that I carry inside me with all of us, that we all have, being able to teach and help others experience what I'm coming to experience, that's huge. That's huge. And it was done over time. I've found myself in the beginning, and many people, when we start the course, it's about, full steam ahead, let's go. Okay, I'm going to get enlightened, and I'm going to get enlightened in 5 minutes, and you can't tell me anything else. I'm just going to do it, and that's it. The course has one lesson a day for a reason, and from what I'm starting to learn, the biggest reason is for just that reason, that I would probably and have tried to do it all at once, and it took time for my mind to get entrenched in the body, in which I happen to be very addicted to. And it's going to take time, and it has taken time, to slowly, peel the layers off to slowly to find the trust, and also it's about forgiveness. And as I forgive myself more, I find God more. As I forgive everything, just don't need to remember much, just need to be where I am. And my barometer for that is love. God is love. And what I feel emanating through me, through you, through us, through the breath, through the joy, through the hope, through it all, that's God. You know, it's funny, I learned along the way that if you can define it, it's not God. And the only way I can define God is everything. God is everything. That's about as close as I get. Anyway, I think I actually made it to 10 minutes, and I love you guys. And may you know God. That's my biggest wish, that you may know God. And we'll keep going down this path, you and me. And then I'll be able to, one of these days, do a video that holds up a certificate, and you'll know that I did it. That searching for God is a wonderful thing. And in finding God, well, God doesn't move, I did, so coming back to Him, that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Have a blessed day. I love you all. Take care.